to the entire room, but you're also talking directly to elected representatives. And obviously, you know, we're not deaf to what we're listening to. Like, we understand the level of intensity, we understand the passion, and you know, there's two ways you can go on that. You can get a bit sort of intimidated by it, you can get a bit scared by it, or you can have the reaction that I think I have, and I hope all of the people up here share, which is actually being buoyed by it. And what I mean by that is that it's good to hear this kind of passion, but we need that kind of encouragement to act and no longer talk. And I got that loud and clear, like, taking little check marks. But it's important because I just want to tell you about the world we're inhabiting. The world we're inhabiting as elected representatives, either at Queen's Park or in Ottawa, is that we're listening to all sorts of people, some of whom share these views, some of whom diametrically do not. And what I found very illuminating is there was a conversation sort of somewhere in the middle, and the rapporteur talked about sort of communication and denial. And there are still people out there that do deny, that haven't gotten to where we are. And it's important for us to be buoyed and with your passion to confront those individuals with the science and with all of the evidence that you were marshalling. So thank you for giving us that. But we're redoubling our efforts because there are people in Alberta who want to hear some of the messaging that I did hear a few times about what do we do with that oil rig worker who's now unemployed, and how do we convert them and shift them into a different kind of labor market that it is crystal clear that everyone in this room wants us to have, a completely different kind of labor market. I wanted to say thank you for the people. I'm the representative from Parkdale, Highpark. I've met with some of the people here. I want to give a special shout out to whoever mentioned the tree canopy in Highpark, because that's an important tree canopy that we have to continue to foster, not just in Highpark, but in other places. But I also think what's important is that when I talk about the fact that there's still some deniers out there, it's not just in the federal legislature where there's 101 Conservatives who don't agree with most of what we're hearing in this room, but we're also trying to deal with other provincial partners. And some of them are on board, some of them are on board. You may have heard us say there's 86% of the population is now under some sort of pricing agreement or pricing mechanism, or moving towards a mechanism, but 14% are not. And one of them is a guy who's running Saskatchewan, who we need to communicate with and get him out of that sort of situation where he's defensive and bring him along in this great exercise. But I think that's an important segue, because what's comforting to us as Toronto MPs and as Ontario MPs is that we have a strong partner in the biggest province in the country, the most populous province, and that's actually and it's also fitting, as I turn the mic over to Glenn, your local MPP, but also the Minister of the Environment, that we have him in a role of such magnitude as the Minister of the Environment, who, you know, gets criticized by the likes of Jeffrey Simpson in today's Globe, but I think that's actually a good sign that he's doing a good job. So over to